Dawn was breaking when Sabo started leading the climb up the rocky trail. The mist hung low, and the weight of what they were searching for pressed on every man in the line.
Ndewo, everyone. Stay close now. This is for the child. We climb not for power, but for truth. Ancestors, guide our feet today.
High on the peak, Sabo stood in front of the stone altar. The moonstone sat there under starlight, glowing just enough to make him feel small and hopeful at the same time.
Another evening like this. People still look at me the same way. When will this emptiness end? I can't keep waiting like this. Another night alone with my thoughts. I want a child so badly. I can't keep living like this. Something has to change.
You hear say Zara never marry? She too proud or she curse herself? See as she dey waka like she knows something we no know. Ancestors go judge her soon.
Their words about Zara were sharp and quick, spreading suspicion across the water like ripples. Zara sat across from Kemi in the dim oracle hut. The fire between them crackled while she waited for the one answer that could change her son's whole life.
Watch closely now. The fire does not burn the chosen one. The ancestors have spoken clearly about you, Zara.
She didn't flinch, and her steady eyes told Zara the ancestors were ready to speak through the fire. The fire showed Zara something she never expected. Shock hit her hard. She sat frozen, heart pounding, trying to understand what it all meant.
Say that again, please. The man who fathers my child will rule. How will I know which man it is? This changes everything. A curse on the whole village? I don't have much time. I have to act now. I can't wait any longer. I'll do whatever it takes for my future child, even if the village talks.
Have you heard what Zara is doing? She's lying with every man in the village. What kind of woman does that? The whole village is talking.
Let them talk. I know what I'm doing. This is for my child. I have no other choice.
You won't believe what Zara's doing. She's really going through with it. Every eligible man, she said. This could end badly for everyone.
Under the palm shade, the men sat with their gourds and spoke in low voices. Fear sat heavy among them, each one wondering whose blood ran in the child they all claimed.
Thank you for coming.
You don't have to do this alone.
I feel so much pressure.
I'm here. You called for me.
Yes, I did.
This is quite the plan.
I know what I'm doing.
Zara, are you sure about this?
I have to do this.
I still care about you.
This is harder than I thought.
In the market, one woman stepped forward to defend Zara. Her words sparked gasps and arguments, showing the village was no longer of one mind.
They're already watching me differently. My belly is showing now. The claims are starting already. This is getting dangerous. My little one, I will protect you. No matter what happens. I promise.
Month after month, Zara's belly grew, while she walked the same village paths. The division deepened around her, but yet she kept moving forward for her child. That evening, Zara sat on her veranda with a hand resting on her belly.
My little one, I will protect you. No matter what happens. I promise.
The midwife burst out of the hut, holding the newborn high.
A son has been born healthy and strong. Ancestors have blessed this house today. Come quickly, everyone. Come and see. Let the drums speak for this blessing.
In the square, people cheered and raised their arms when they heard a son was born. But the joy turned sharp the moment 6 men stepped forward, claiming the child. 2 lines faced each other across the red earth. His warriors gripped their spears tight while the baobab stood silent above the growing threat of violence.
Listen to them shouting outside. They fight over you already. But here we are safe. Sleep peacefully, my heart. He's finally here. My beautiful Kofi. You're safe now. This is just the beginning. Look at him, everyone. My son is here. He's so strong already. The village is celebrating.
Silence, all of you. The next who speaks without my word sleeps with the goats. We consult Kemi tonight.
As dusk settled under the baobab, Danso spoke to the elders. They nodded and agreed to go to Kemi that night for the ancestors to settle the matter.
The ancestors will speak clearly at us. We seek their guidance tonight. The truth awaits us.
In her hut, Kemi sat by the fire with eyes distant. She spoke slowly of the mountain she had seen in her vision, and the moonstone waiting at its peak.
The vision came to me strong. I saw a mountain sacred and high. At the peak, the moonstone waits. There the true father will be known.
At dawn, the 6 men stood ready in the square. As Zara watched from the side with Kofi strapped to her chest, feeling the weight of what might happen on the climb. Zara's eyes paused on Sibo, while the men prepared to leave. Something passed between him and the child in that brief moment, quiet and unspoken.
We depart now. This is for truth and for the child. May the ancestors guide us home. We will return changed. 6 men set out for the mountain. One sacred mountain awaits them. One truth must be revealed.
The mountain is so far. The full moon is coming fast. Everything depends on them. I have to believe it will work.
Sibo turned and led the group away from the square. The drums grew faint behind them as they walked toward the wilderness path, carrying the village's hope and fear with every step.
Nobody said there would be actual climbing. I thought there would be a proper path with markers. Save your breath, everyone.
Tunde stepped into the river without waiting. He spoke confidently about crossing quickly, but the current grabbed him hard and pulled him sideways.
Help me now!
Tunde fought the water as it dragged him under. Aid reached out fast and pulled him back to the bank, both men breathing heavy from the close call. Sibo moved upstream and studied the water carefully. He pointed out the hidden stones that lined up like a path only the river knew.
The stones are lined perfectly. We cross one at a time now. Follow exactly where I step.
Sibo crossed first, testing each rock before stepping. He called back instructions calmly, guiding the others one careful foot at a time. On the far bank, Tunde stood dripping and looked at Sibo. He spoke quietly, admitting he owed his life to the man he once doubted. At the foot of the sacred mountain, Sibo stopped and looked up. The rocky rise felt heavier than anything he had faced before, and the air itself seemed to wait. The ancient carvings on the altar began to glow faintly. The stone responded slowly as if deciding whether these men were worthy.
Ancestors, we have come.
You have come seeking truth. Before you ascend, offer what you value most. The mountain will judge your offering. Begin now.
One by one, the men placed their offerings on the stone. Gold chains, rings, amulets. Nothing moved the altar, and frustration grew in their eyes.
This chain is my family pride. Nothing happened. Then take this ring too. Still nothing at all.
Sibo knelt with empty hands and open heart. He spoke softly to the ancestors, offering only his sincerity and his care for the child.
Ancestors, I am Sebo. I come not for power but for a child. If I am not the one, show us who is. Let truth be found here.
Sibo stayed on his knees while the warmth moved through the stone. The carvings lit up slowly, and everyone felt the ancestors answering in their own quiet way.
A village that deserves peace and unity. Let truth be found here tonight. Thank you, ancestors.
A path of light appeared in the rock face above the altar. It climbed steadily toward the peak, showing the men exactly where they needed to go next. Tunde stepped forward and gripped Sibo's forearm. He spoke with respect he hadn't shown before, and the group felt something shift between them right then. The air grew colder as they climbed higher. Breath appeared in front of their faces, and Sibo told them to breathe deep because the mountain was changing them. Translucent shapes drifted beside the glowing trail. They moved like gentle watchers, not threatening, just present, making the climb feel less lonely. At the very top, the world dropped away into clouds. The stars looked close enough to touch. Esenyaro stood there feeling small and amazed all at once. The moonstone rested in the stone formation and pulsed like a heartbeat. It gave off no shadow, and the men stood in a half circle waiting for it to speak. Sibo placed both hands on the moonstone. A column of pure white light shot straight up through the sky, and ancestral voices filled the air with one clear
Ancestors,
truth.
speak now. Show us the truth.
Son of Ego, the child is yours.
Lead as a father protects.
Back in the village, the land began to give more freely. Crops grew tall, people worked together again, and children laughed without fear in the open spaces. Zara sat on her veranda in the soft evening light. She rested a hand on her belly and spoke quiet promises to her child, holding on to hope even as doubt still whispered.
No matter what they say about us, I will keep you safe always. We are strong together.
Zara sat frozen behind the baobab when the voices reached her. The words she heard made her stomach drop and her arms tighten around her sleeping child.
What is that sound I am hearing? Voices are coming from behind the tree. Ancestors, please let me hear everything clearly.
On the other side of the tree, the two figures spoke in low voices.
Some truths must stay buried. It was necessary for the greater good. The child calls another man's name.
They congratulated each other on how well the deception had worked and how the village now prospered under it.
No, this cannot be true. Everything we did was based on a lie. The mountain, the stone, it was all false. My son deserves the real truth.
Zara stayed hidden, while tears streamed down her face. The pain of betrayal cut deep, but she refused to let it break her completely in that moment. The tears slowed, and Zara's jaw set hard. She wiped her face and looked straight ahead, turning grief into a quiet, burning determination to protect her son. Zara carried Kofi inside the hut and closed the door softly behind her. She spoke gentle words to him, promising that no more lies would touch their lives. Standing alone in the dim hut, Zara made her decision. She looked toward the small window and knew the forest held the one person who could help her uncover the real truth. At the window, Zara gazed into the dark tree line. She spoke quietly to herself, steadying her breath before stepping out into the night with her child on her back.
For my son, I go to the forest.
Zara stood at the edge of the ebony forest with the torch raised. The darkness ahead felt thick and alive. But she took the first step forward without hesitation. A neighbor approached from the village side, wrapped in a cloth. Zara turned with a calm face and gave a simple excuse about a fever, sending the woman back home without suspicion. Deep in the ebony forest, Zara walked with her torch held high. The darkness felt thick and alive, pressing in from every side, yet she kept moving forward for her son. Eyes glinted in the shadows ahead of Zara. Branches moved without wind, and the forest seemed to watch her every step, testing her courage as she pressed deeper. Zara stepped into a clearing lit by floating golden candles. The hermit sage sat waiting at his dwelling entrance, his calm eyes already knowing why she had come. The sage looked at the sleeping child on Zara's back. He spoke gently, pointing out features that belonged to the real father.
The child has his real father's brow. The forest knows the truth. And the forest speaks to me clearly. Tell me everything that happened.
Zara sat across from the sage and told her story from the beginning. She spoke honestly, her voice steady, even when the pain of betrayal rose in her chest again.
It all began with the prophecy. The mountain and the stone were part of the deception.
Speak it all, child. It matters greatly.
And now I seek the real truth from you.
The sage leaned forward and explained the old ritual.
There is a ritual older than the village itself. On the new moon at Whispering Lake, it will burn away every lie.
Before dawn, Zara walked out of the forest with the path clear in her mind. The sky lightened ahead, and for the first time in days, she felt real hope rising inside her.
The dawn is coming now. The ritual must be performed. The truth will be restored. For my son, it will be soon.
Zara slipped past the sleeping guards and entered the sanctuary at night. The faint glow of the moonstone guided her forward while she moved with careful, silent steps.
I am not here to steal anything. I am only here to restore what is right. The truth is still inside you. I will bring you back whole.
The square filled with color and life for the feast of ancestors. Banners hung bright, fires roared, drums waited, and the village gathered to honor those who came before. Zara stepped into the center of the feast holding the wrapped moonstone. The drums paused, and every eye turned to her as she prepared to show what the stone truly held. The square went completely silent the moment Zara unwrapped the stone. Laughter died, faces froze, and the crackling fires suddenly felt louder than any drum. One by one, the men stepped forward to hold the moonstone. Each waited for the glow, but the stone stayed dark in their hands, and disbelief spread through the crowd. Zibbo took the stone last and held it steady. It flickered twice, then went dark again, and he placed it down gently while speaking words that ended the long deception.
I am not his father. The lie ends here tonight.
Shouts erupted across the square as the truth landed. Warriors reached for spears, families pulled children close, and the village felt like it was tearing itself apart.
He is not the father after all. The prophecy was false from the beginning. What does this mean for all of us?
The village is fracturing.
Kemi pushed through the crowd with her voice raised. She tried to explain the stone needed guidance, but her words sounded thin against the rising anger. Zara faced Kemi across the fire-lit space. She spoke calmly and firmly, refusing to let the old lies stand between her son and the real truth any longer.
The stone was cleansed directly by the ancestors. Without my guidance, it cannot be valid.
It came directly from them. The river of truth will decide for all of us.
At dawn, the village gathered on the banks of the river of truth. Carved posts stood silent, while everyone waited for the water to reveal what no one else could hide.
The river of truth never lies. Each man will take the oath in turn. The water will respond only to truth. We begin the oath now.
Man after man submerged his hand in the river. The water stayed clear for each one, and the crowd watched in growing tension as the truth refused to appear. Chidi stepped into the shallows last. He spoke the truth plainly, and the moment his hand entered the water, it turned radiant gold, spreading across the river like sunlight. Under the great baobab at sunset, Zara and Chidi crouched low. They reached out together as Kofi took his first unsteady steps toward them, beginning a new chapter, free of lies. Down in the village square, the fire was bright and the people were happy. Sibo lifted the newborn high, and the whole community felt like something long broken had finally come right.
My son, you are safe now. I will protect you always. Hello, little one.